Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting, good communication, and how to build strong family bonds all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about healing your family by changing your family lens. What does that mean? In this video, we're going to be talking about the family lens and what that even means for the family. And then we're going to talk about key things that you can do to help your family all see through the same lens so that your family can heal or strengthen. The way that you see your family makes a difference on your connection to your family. And the way that you see the world actually relates to how you see your family as well. So that family lens has a big impact on the way your life ends up turning out. That would suggest that it's important. Now, looking through life through the lens of the family is something that just automatically happens. If your family has a lot of dysfunction, a lot of anger, a lot of manipulation, then you are naturally going to be looking at the world through this. Wait, are they trying to manipulate me? Is that person trying to attack me? Suddenly you're more on the defensive because that's how you were in your home. And you are going to assume that your home is a small reflection of what the entire world is like. If your home environment was calm, unifying, connective, you had good open discussion with each other, people felt understood, cared about each other, you were hardworking, those types of things, you had strong values, then you are going to assume when you look out into the world that exists out there somewhere, and that the majority of people probably are kind and caring. You might give people more of the benefit of the doubt because your family gave you the benefit of the doubt. So the way we see our family is usually the way that we see the world, although obviously, of course, over time, as we grow and mature, we start to figure out a few other things might be different than they were in our family. But I'll tell you what, if the whole family sees the family the same way, then usually what happens is the world around us ends up changing. Even if we can't control what everybody else is doing, even if it's different than what is happening in our home, we start to feel like we can maintain that permanence that that good home environment brings just by getting everybody on the same page with the same family lens. The way that you think, the way that you look at things makes a difference on your individual and familial progression. This book, Parenting a House United, was the first book that I ever wrote. And one of the first things that I put in this book right at the beginning was a bit about creating a family vision. Now, I know so many people who listen to things on this channel, and subscribe to this channel. They are looking for skills and how to solve the problems and how to get the child to obey and all of those kinds of things. And they skip right over the first part of this book or the first part of my training when I talk about the family vision. But that family vision is so important to the family. It actually holds the family relationships together. So I'm going to share with you some benefits of creating a real deliberate family vision. But before we do that, let's talk about what is entailed in a family vision. Now, I do have other videos on this channel that discuss a family vision, and you definitely can go and see some of those. So I'm not going to go into every bit of detail here, especially because the entire thing, my family vision, even for my family, is in this book, Parenting a House United. But the idea is you find a time in the future, maybe 10 years or 20 years in the future, when everyone in your family is adult age. Because we want everyone to see that they have graduated from the home and then say, okay, once we're done with this upbringing, these child raising years, then what does our family mean? Where are we going with this? What's our end goal? What type of relationships do we want to have at the end? So I usually suggest 20 years. Unless your children are older, then you might want to go for like 10 years or something like that. So you pick this time in the future, you pick a key event. Maybe it's a family camping trip that you do every year. Maybe it's a holiday that you always gather for. There's a certain time that you gather together every single year. Then you pick what that's going to feel like, what it's going to smell like, what is there going to be taste there? What are the conversations going to be like if we have created the relationship that we would like to have 20 years in the future? Who else could be there? Could there be other people there? So you spend some time as a family making this story. It's like a story for your future. It's a remember in the future that this is where we're headed. That type of a story has power, and you talk about it often. There are so many benefits to being that deliberate with your family. Here are some of those benefits. When you create a family vision, that gives your family a reason why they are going to care about making changes in the family. Aren't you always going to be talking about things that need to adjust or change in the family, especially as you're raising the children? Oh yeah. I mean, if you didn't, you would actually be neglecting your duty as a parent. Of course you need to correct your children and help train them to become the best versions of themselves. But that could feel a little bit negative. Not that you would be trying to be negative, but it could feel like, we're not there yet, or now I made more mistakes, But if you're talking about that family vision, who you're becoming in the future, that adult that you're growing into, then it seems like, now I know why we have to do that, because we need to have these types of relationships in the future. We need to become these types of people in the future. There's a reason why. A family vision helps us keep our focus. Then we know which direction we're headed, which also helps us know when we've gone off track. That's important. It also is a means for us to have a change of heart. That's a great benefit. It invests the heart into the family. That's the power of story anyway. It engages the heart, but it helps everybody want something. That's another heart engagement. And it's something that feels personal. It feels a little bit emotional because it's related to those bonds and connections that we're hoping for in the future. Another benefit of a family vision is that it reminds us who we are. Our family vision ends up becoming part of our family identity. We can't forget who we decided to be. And so this is a constant reminder. This is who we are. We are part of this group. Family visions are intentional and deliberate. When they're intentional and deliberate, they show you care. In fact, creating a family vision gives everybody an opportunity to invite more caring about each other. We know now we have a plan to be together forever as a family. We want these relationships to last for all time. So, what does that mean? That means we have to keep focusing on caring about each other, even if we might annoy each other sometimes. The family vision provides a tone for corrections and pre-teaching and praising in the family. So any teaching or feedback is fueled by this vision. When you know who you are to each other, then that makes it so that the teaching seems more personal instead of punitive. So often when parents correct their children, it seems emotional. It seems like they're trying to make the child do something for themselves, for their own benefit. But when you have a vision for the whole group, the child can more easily see that those corrections, that feedback, that teaching is actually for their benefit too. An additional benefit to a family vision is that a family vision fuels our duty. So before I said this loosely, like it gives us a reason why we should care. But when we're talking about duty, we're talking about serving each other all of the time. We're talking about paying each other, right? Emotionally, with our relationships, giving to each other. So let's talk about what duty means. I'm going to read you the definition of duty. It's actually in Webster's 1828 dictionary. It says, that which a person owes to another, that which a person is bound by any natural, moral, or legal obligation to pay, do, or perform. There's 3 different ways that a person practices duty: natural, moral, and legal, it says. What is our natural duty to our family? Well, we are naturally part of them. We have identities, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers in the family. These family visions make us own up to that duty because it reminds us of our relationships. Then what about the moral duty? The moral duty would be to what's right, good, and true, which hopefully we learn in the family too. Then there's also the legal duty too. A good family government, a good sense of family law and order that happens in the home will encourage a child to be a good citizen and to obey law and understand law in their community and in their nation as they get older and as they mature. So that duty in the family in all of those aspects ends up creating this full sense of duty for life so that a person cannot be weary in well-doing, but they will continue to move forward in their duty in all things. Noah Webster goes on to say that obedience to princes, magistrates, and the laws is the duty of every citizen. And subject, obedience, respect, and kindness to parents are duties to children. Fidelity to friends is a duty. Reverence, obedience, and prayer to God are indispensable duties. So he's breaking it out to duties to all of these different aspects of our life. When we learn duty to the family, we learn duty to all. The family teaches the person to care about duty. Additional benefits to a vision include helping us keep our focus, making sure that we hit the mark that we're shooting for as a family, opening good, productive communication, and giving your family a family brand. Your family is creating a brand whether you like it or not, but this vision helps your family deliberately create the brand of what it means to be your family. In our family, what does it mean to be a Peck? That means we're united, we care, we solve our problems, we don't hold grudges against each other. We are a family that works things out. We have fun together, we're a little bit silly. That's our brand, and it's also part of our family vision story. The lens that you look through as a family is powerful. One big part of our family is how we solve our problems. It begins with the vision, but then goes on from there to include the skills that we are going to use to maintain our family vision so that we don't lose focus. What problem-solving skills do you have as a family? Do you need help with any other problem-solving skills? If so, I have a help for you. The next video that I highly recommend watching is the video called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. Click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.